All right. So now, so I'm going to um, stop my video so that we can have a better connection. I notice that when I'm sharing my screen, it's usually topsy-turvy with the internet. So I'm going to turn off my video so we can focus on the slides and then have a better connection. Then after that, we can share. So let's do that.
Please, can I get a pen?
Can you get what?
Sorry, not you.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Thank you. So conquering your goals. Initially, I wanted to do this presentation in January because this year, 2020, we did our leaders' priority but as I was thinking about it, I said, okay, why not start now instead of waiting until January? I want us to get started with the new year on the right footing. So I said, okay, let's do goals in December. Then in January, we can focus on purpose and vision. Because I would like us to do purpose and vision again in January. All right, so the first thing about conquering your goals that I would like us to note is you can do it. Your goals can become a reality. It's very possible. We see it happen every day. Most of us, some of us here have been achieving our goals, even in this unprecedented year with the pandemic and all. Your goals are still possible. It's still possible for you to achieve them. And starting now, you can do it. Now, the process of setting goal requires us to, first of all, really sit down and think. Goal setting is not something we do quickly. It's not something we do in a rush. And it's not something we do externally. It starts from the inside out. It requires us to really think about where we want to be. First of where we are, first of all, and where we want to be, where we see ourselves going in life, in our careers, in our businesses, in our vocation, in our professions. For me, the first step of setting our goals is to find out what motivates it. Why do we want to set goals in the first place? I know some of us have mentioned that Sylvester mentioned to have direction in life. His goals help him to be focused and to, you know, have direction. And it's true. Goals provide direction. They motivate us and they give us a framework to live by. When we don't have goals, you're just aimless. You live aimlessly. You're just waiting for life to happen. And that is really a bad state to be. It may feel good on the short term, but in the long term, especially when you look back at your life and you look back at where you have come from, and where you are presently, it can be very demoralizing when you know that, oh, I had no goals. And having no goals, not achieving them can be depressing. So the first step is to define what your purpose is. Why do you want those goals in the first place? What's motivating the goal? What is really your purpose? And when we set goals, our goals must be based on our purpose. So the most important thing is to define what your purpose is. Before we start setting the goals. That's down, I'm not sure. Okay. So what do you stand for? What do you stand for? What are your values? That's the next thing. What are your values? Because it's tied to your purpose. What are your values? Your values that lies at the heart of who you are. They are your core. And they are also the foundation for your goals. First of all, your purpose, then your values. We need to identify our values, our personal values. If you own a company, you own a business, your business values. But most often, I have noticed that our business values, our organizational values, are always tied to our personal values. We may values of the owner of the business. Once we're able to establish what our values are, and we know why we are doing, why we want those goals, why do we really want to achieve those goals? How are those goals tied to our values? Then we will know how to lead ourselves better into achieving those goals. My next question to us is, why do you do what you do? What are your values? What are your values, your personal values? So I want us to write down your values. You can write down your primary values, maybe your top five values. Write them down. If you're not sure, write down, I'm not sure. It's still okay, because that's the process of learning. We need to admit where we are at every point in time. Because if we know where we are, then we can move from where we are to where we want to be. Right. Visualizing your goals, that's the next step when it comes to goal setting. First of all, your purpose, then your values. Then the next thing is to have a picture of those goals. Have a picture of your goals. That's your vision. What are you seeing in that picture? Let's say we are in December 2021. What do you see? We're in December 2021. What do you see? You've achieved your goals. What is in there? Imagine your life, December 2021. Let's take COVID out of the picture. It's a great year. Of course, there will be challenges of all sorts, but we've overcome COVID, and I'm sure we can overcome a lot of things. We've pivoted in spite of it, in spite of the lockdown, in spite of the pandemic, in spite of the fear. We are still here. We are here in December, and we've achieved some of our goals. So imagine December 2021, you've achieved your goals. What do you see? So it's so important to create a visual of your goal. See it. You cannot achieve a goal that you don't see. We think in pictures, we live in pictures as humans, and pictures are so important. What I do to visualize my goal is I create what I call a vision album. I have a, some people call it a vision board. Yes, it's a vision board, but mine is virtual. I have a PowerPoint, an album on PowerPoint with slides. So I print those pictures. The pictures are printed. Sometimes I go look at them, but I prefer the one that I see in front of me. So I will just play those slides, and they'll be playing in front of me, and I'll be visualizing them and seeing myself in that picture. So I have my goals in visual. in visual form, in pictures, so that I can create a mental imagery at all times of where I see myself, where I want to be. You can create yours. You can do it on PowerPoint, just like me, or you can do a literal picture. What we do is we post it on a cardboard. You can cut the pictures and put it on a cardboard and place it somewhere where you can always see it. Some people put theirs in front on their mirror. They paste it on their mirror. So every morning they see their goal. You know, visualizing your goal, where you want to get to, is so, so, so important. I know I'm a person of faith. So when I started this process and I saw in the Bible that I read, I saw how God took Abraham. He took him to a mountain, the top of the mountain, and he showed him the land. He said, look around you, look to the east, to the north, to the west. All this land that you can see belongs to you and to your descendants. So he needed him to see that picture, that visual. And of course, there was another place he told him, okay, look up at the stars of the stars in the sky. How many? Can you count them? That was the visual. So I told myself that, okay, this is the lesson for me. I need to see where I want to get, where I want to go. So if you don't see where you want to go, if you don't see those goals, it will be very, very difficult for you to achieve them. Once we practice this, and the process of visualizing your goals, it's not something that we do in a noisy area. It has to be a really quiet moment. You have to quiet yourself from the inside out so that you'll be able to see clearly and you'll be able to put yourself in there, in that picture. And of course, we know this, leveraging the 80-20. Yeah, 80-20 rule. I know most of us are familiar with this rule. I like the way Sylvester Sylvester explains this rule. So I'd like you to talk about the 80-20 rule before we continue. I like your perspective, the way you do it.
You want me to talk?
Yes, please.
Oh.
We can also put it in the chat. If you want to contribute in the chat, you're free. Thank you. Yes, Sylvester.
Wow. The 80-20 rule probably simply states that 20% of your effort results in the 80% of your results. In other words, 20% of your effort produces 80% of your whatever you're pursuing.
Hmm?
Also, from a leadership point of view, 80% of the noise in the company come from 20% of the staff, something like that. Mm-hmm. There are many ways to explain it. Open your wardrobe. You see that 80% of the time, you're wearing only 20% of your dresses. Think about it. It's true. I don't know why, but it's true. Yeah, there are many ways to explain it, so that this is just what I can get out of my head right now. So in your establishment or in your company or in your family, you see that if you can take care of the 20% that gives you the 80%, yeah, the other remaining 80% that produces the noise will be minimized. Thank you very much. I don't know whether I have contributed.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sylvester. Yes, thank you. I know it was surprising. You didn't expect that, but that's so great. Thank you. Yes, Amarachi. I see Amarachi raising her hand. Yes, Amara.
Hi, everyone. Hello, Kate. So I want to contribute on the 80-20 rule. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Hello? Okay. So I, I was going to say that that like Sylvester was explaining, 20% of, if we look at it as part of your customers, you would say 20% of your customers give you 80% of your reps.
Right.
So if you look at it from the point of about 20% things that you do full of you have a lot of things that you're always doing. 80% of the results you get will come out of 20% of those things that constitute your daily or routine activities. So bottom line, most of the things that you do, you actually do not need to do. Right. Of what you actually should be focused on, because that is where 80% of your results come from. Thank
you so much, Amara. Thank you, Sylvester. That's true. That's very good. I like that explanation. And if we can relate it to our goals, let's imagine you have 10 goals that you have listed. You have 10 goals. Now, out of your 10 goals, 2 will be most important and most relevant to you. And they will have the most impact on your life, 2 of those goals. You can try them. You can try this exercise. Make a list of 10 goals, or maybe I'm sure you already have that list somewhere, or maybe you even have it in front of you. You will find that 20%, like 2 out of those 10 goals are the ones that have the most impact on your life. And they are most important. So if you focus on those 2 and start with them, then you would really achieve more leverage and more fulfillment. Okay, let's move. Okay. Now, the next one that we're going to talk about is making long-term goals and short-term goals. Why is my slide not moving? Okay, there it is. Right. There are short-term goals and there are long-term goals. That's what we mean by the long and short of it. When we start building when we list our goals, out of those 10 goals, let's say we have 10 goals listed. If you look at those 10 goals, you'll find out that some of them are really long-term and some of them are short-term. It is important to have a plan for achieving the 2, your long-term goals and your short-term goals. A long-term goal is going to be anywhere between maybe 3 to 5 years ahead. It used to be longer than that. I mean, some years ago, when I started setting long-term goals, my long-term goals were 10 to 20 years. And then a few years, about 2 years ago, I realized that 10 to 20 years, that's a really, really long time. And the way things are changing, the way the world is changing right now, it's better. Your long-term goals, yes, you may have long-term goals 10, 20, 30 years to give you perspective. But long-term goals have become a lot shorter these days. So it's 3 to 5 years. And then your short-term goals will be anywhere between a few months, like 2-3 months, to 6 months to 1 year, to 2 years, thereabout. So it depends on you, really. But really, we must have a long-term goal and, some long-term goals and some short-term goals. Try to see yourself a little bit further than where you are presently, than the next year, than a little bit further than December 2021. So if you can see yourself further than December 2021, that is a long-term goal. And you must have strategy for achieving them. And also pictures of those long-term goals. All right. So let's take a look at how example I gave of Abraham, God took him and showed him the land, how his descendants were going to occupy that land and all that. It didn't just happen immediately. When we have long-term goals, they are tied to what we call a mission, our mission. Long-term goals, most of the time, they are tied to a mission. And they're also tied to our purpose. You know, your purpose is long-term. Your purpose is fixed. Your purpose is not short-term. So when we have long-term goals, they are tied to that purpose and they serve our mission as well. And long-term goals, they also serve the big picture of our lives, of our businesses, of our organizations. When we set those long-term goals, we look at ourselves. Let's say, for example, my long-term goal is, it is to leave a legacy. That's a goal. It's long-term. That's far-reaching. Now, how does that serve my purpose? I want to make a difference in the world. And leave a legacy. That is thinking long-term. It's not thinking now. Now, short-term, my short-term goals will be how I break down these long-term goals into the present day, how I live them. So my long-term goals, they are wide. They fit into my purpose. They serve my mission. My short-term goals are broken down, my long-term goals broken down into shorter objectives or shorter-term goals. If you have questions, you can put your questions in the chat. You can contribute in the chat as we go along, because we're going to have some discussions after the slides. So now, can you see yourself long-term? Let's say, can you see yourself 3 to 5 years or 10 to 20 years from now? Can you see yourself? That's a picture. Most of the times we can't see ourselves that long because we are not growing. We're not improving ourselves. When I really started going deeper into personal growth and development, that improved my capacity to see further. So when we are growing, when we are improving ourselves, we're developing ourselves, we are becoming more, we're able to see more, and we're able to see further. It's easier to set longer-term goals when we are growing. And it's also easy to break those goals into shorter-term objectives when we are growing. We say short-term goals, they are strategies, things we do right now to feed our long-term goal. And we all know, I don't know if we know of the SMART acronym for setting goals.
Yeah.
SMART, S stands for specific, M measurable, A, achievable, R, relevant or realistic, and T, time bound or time frame or timeliness. Time, well, T is time anyhow. So we have our long-term goals. We've broken them into shorter-term objectives. Now, we look at those objectives and we apply the SMART planning into it and see, is this goal specific? Is it measurable? It must have specific means it's clear. I understand it. I know what is expected. I know what I'm expecting. Measurable means that I can measure it. There are objective measures that I can use to measure my progress. Of course, achievable is motivating enough for me. Realistic, it's not just a dream, it's something that can be done. It's realistic. I can achieve it. And then, of course, timeliness. So when we break down our goals, we analyze our goals with this SMART system. We see that it's more balanced. What is the content of that goal? It's more balanced, and we can have a concrete plan of action, to achieve the goals. We're going to see some examples after this. Of course, the next thing we'll do is to make sure that the goals are visible. What do I mean by the goals are visible? Staying on track with our goals, we all know it's a big challenge. There are goals that we set 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even January 2020. But the goals seem to have vanished somehow. When we look back, when we look at ourselves, we ask ourselves, but I had a goal. I had this goal. What happened to it? I mean, somehow, somewhere along the line, as we're going through life, you forgot that goal. Was it just a wish? No, it probably wasn't. Let me tell us a story. There was one of my classmates. She posted something, or my secondary school classmate. She posted something in one of our groups, and she asked us the question: what was your first dream when you were growing up, and what was your second dream when you were growing up? And of course, there were many answers. I told them my first dream was to become an astronaut as a child. That was the first thing that when I started thinking about dreams, goals, what I want to be in life. How did that happen? I saw a rocket. And then I told myself, I want to be in that rocket in the future. I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut. And I started asking questions about astronauts, what an astronaut is. So that really fed my vision or my dream for some time. And then they asked, what was your second goal? And my second goal was to become a model, a runway model. And so some of my friends were like, you become a runway model. Can you imagine? I know what that meant, because growing up in school, I was what some people would consider a nerd. You know what they call a nerd? That's so into my studies. I was so focused. I was an A student throughout, and I was really academically inclined. So it was hard for my classmates to picture me as a model. But guess what? That was my dream. That was one of it. Right. And that dream of becoming a model, it was one that stayed with me the longest, and it affected the way I lived my life as a child. I didn't want to get fat. I was so conscious of the way I ate. I knew that models were slim. So I have to maintain my shape. I had to be slim. I don't have to eat too much. So that really directed me for quite a long time, you know. But of course, at a certain point, I didn't even remember it. So creating visibility for your dream, for your goals, you need accountability. If you don't have a system of accountability, nobody is holding you accountable. You've not shared that goal with anybody, it can become lost. So we need accountability, maybe from a trusted friend, coach, or a mentor. I would suggest a coach or highly recommend a coach and or a mentor, someone that can hold you accountable for achieving those goals. Creating visibility for your goals, you need clarity. The goals need to be clear. You need to write them down. Write them down and put them outside. The goals need to come out of you. Like I shared with us my goal of becoming a model. It was inside. No, very few, I think only my sisters, my siblings, not all my siblings, actually, my direct two elder sisters, they were the ones who even knew about it. And it was like, it was playful, not a very serious thing. They didn't know I was taking it seriously, you know, but it has to come out of you. Once that goal has come out of you, it's outside of you, it's clear, you're seeing it, it's visible. And of course, connecting with people who are also goal-driven. Keeping company with the right people can make your goals a lot more visible. Why? Because if you're keeping company with people who are goal-driven, people who are conscious of the fact that they are going somewhere, people who are living their lives according to their goals, according to their purpose and their vision, there's no way you will not also follow, because the company you keep is so, so important and it contributes to your success. Next is we have to get in the rhythm of taking small steps. Take small steps. You can only see the step, like this guy, he can only see the step in front of him. So get in that rhythm of taking small steps every single day, moving towards your goal. Do something every single day that feeds that goal. And of course, alignment. Alignment. Aligning ourselves with, aligning your goals with your purpose, your vision, and your passion. When we have that alignment every single day, our actions are going to be driven by that alignment. Our values will also be driven by that alignment, because you will not do things that are contrary to where you are going. If you know where you are going, let's say you know you're going to Lagos and you get to worry. If you get from, let's say you're going to Lagos from Port Harcourt and you get to worry, you will take the road that leads to Lagos. You're not going to take the road that leads to maybe my geography is failing me right now, but for people who know I don't know the road, but let's say you get to, you may pass through, you can pass through Benin, right, to get to Lagos. But when you get to Lagos, you know that you have to you get to the crossroad. There's a crossroad that leads to Benin, and is it I don't know, is it Asaba? I can't remember. But basically, what I mean is, your goals, when you know where you are going, you will follow the path, the right path that leads to where you're going. You're not going to sidetrack to another direction. that doesn't lead you to where you want to go. You are focused. Your goals are aligned with your purpose. They're aligned with your vision. They're aligned with your passion. So whatever you do as you go along the way, as you live your life, you lead your life, you will follow that path. And of course, be consistent. Be consistent. Every day, be consistent with steps that you have designed, as a strategy to move you forward towards your goal. Consistency is so, so important. Because one of the things that I know about goals is the most important thing is not about achieving that goal, it's becoming the person that would achieve that goal. So it's really who you become as you move towards that goal that is more important. Let's say, like you set a goal for December 2021. You may not actually see yourself like you have achieved that goal, but if you were taking small steps every single day in this year, maybe you were growing, you were reading, you are attending seminars that are in line with that goal, it will pay off in the future. It will pay off in helping you becoming the person that will achieve that goal. You deserve that goal, but you also deserve to become the person that will achieve that goal. So the most important thing is becoming, and consistency. Consistency in taking steps to becoming that person is very, very important. Of course, have a roadmap. Have a roadmap. Have a roadmap. My roadmap, there are 5 areas of my life that I set goals in. 6 right now. There is health. I set goals in the area of my health, in the area of my finances, my relationships, my faith, my vocation, and my personal growth and development. So I set goals in those areas, in those core areas that serve as my roadmap. Every time I look at my goals, do I have goals in those 6 core areas? And am I consistent in pursuing them? Am I taking steps every single day to move me closer to those goals? I'll take my health, my finances, my relationships, my faith, my vocation, my personal growth and development. So all my goals are based on that area. And of course, I have something I call my daily commitments. My daily commitments are also focused on these core areas. So every single day, I do something in each of these areas. I'm committed to it. So every single day, I have to take a step in each of these areas. That brings me so much joy and fulfillment, and I'm able to measure my progress at the end of the day. So I know that I am moving towards my goal. I'm able to map this goal. So I draw that in the form of a pie. I have a pie chart that fits all these areas. So I'm able to see faith, health, personal growth and development. So they are all in that pie chart. We know what a pie chart is, right? It's a circle that is broken down into different segments. So if you noticed, as I'm talking, the process of setting goals and achieving goals is a strategic one, and it's a highly intentional one. And everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. If you can just discipline yourself a little bit more and be consistent, you can do it. Okay. Of course, we measure our goals with milestones. Every single month, look at your goals. What have you achieved? The quarter, what have you achieved? milestones. I have these big goals, but by first quarter of 2021, this is what I want to see in my life. This is where I want to be as far as this goal is concerned. So we set those milestones. And as we achieve those milestones, we always celebrate. Celebrate your milestones when you achieve them. Like Ebere achieved her milestone. She got a job, and that calls for celebration. We are celebrating it. Right, Ebere?
Yes, we are.
Of course, yes. And of course, we need to stay open to change. We need to stay open to change. Don't be so stuck to the plan, because sometimes plans will fail. Be open. Your goals are your goals, but the plans can fail you. So don't get so hung up on the plans you have put in place to achieve those goals. Be open, be flexible with your plans, because things can, look at this year, this COVID year, for example, we all saw what happened. So imagine if you were stuck on your plans. Like, I know some people who were stuck on their plans, and throughout this year, they kept saying, okay, I'm just waiting for this thing to pass. Then I can start again. I can start, the process that I was engaged in. So because of what happened, they stalled on their growth. They stalled on their goals. They became stagnant. So, and that happens when we are stuck on our plans. We can easily become stagnated. We'll be waiting for the storm to pass instead of entering into the storm headlong and moving against the wind and forging ahead in spite of it. So we'll be waiting for it to pass. No, there is a way through, and you can only find out if you engage. If you just stay and wait, oh no. Change is hard. I know, change is hard. We don't like change. Most of us don't like change, especially when you've devoted so much time to preparing, planning, and everything. I remember this year, December 2021, December 2019, my calendar was for 2020 was already set, beautifully designed, ready. I had training, I had engagements lined up to December 2021. I was so happy. I had trips planned. In fact, hotels booked, hotel accommodation booked. By December 2019, I was so excited. And of course, we know what happened. COVID hit. And I saw all those plans tumbling. And I started to tumble with them. Yes, to be honest, I started to go down with it. Had to pick myself up with the help of my mentor, and start forging ahead and enter the storm no matter what. And here we are, December 2020. And by the grace of God, I've achieved some of my goals. And I'm happy. I'm so happy I've achieved the goals. And I'm happy because I have become more. By entering into the storm, you always become more. If you don't enter into that storm, you will not know what you are capable of. But we need to enter into the storm to know what we are capable of. So be open to change. And of course, embrace your failures, because there's no way you're not going to fall down. You've never crossed that terrain before. You've never entered into that storm before. So you're going to fall. You're going to be swayed by the wind. You will fail. In fact, some failures will be so devastating. You think, okay, I'm not sure I can pick myself up anymore. But I can tell you, failures are important on your way to success. We need to embrace them. Embrace them. While you're failing, don't keep your mind, don't let your mind not get off track. Keep your mind on the big picture. Just keep your mind on your goals, where you see yourself. That's why visualization is so important. It's so important to have that picture, because that picture will motivate you even in the face of failures, because you know that, oh, I'm going somewhere and I'm going to get there no matter what. It may take you longer than you planned, than you anticipated, but you're going to get there. Yeah, so adopt that habit of embracing your failures, of using them as learning opportunities, to step forward into your next phase. What did you learn? The question is not that you failed. The question is, what did I learn from this experience? What did I learn from passing through this terrain? That's so important. And of course, always celebrate that we're going to celebrate. Always celebrate your success, no matter what. Even if it means just going to buy yourself, maybe get yourself a bottle of wine and sit down and sip it all by yourself. It's okay to take the wine all by yourself. Just put it there and just embrace it. Celebrate. Or it could even be you just, taking yourself out, get yourself some ice cream, sit by yourself, learn to celebrate your success, even if you have to do it all by yourself. So important. Acknowledge your small steps and give yourself a pat in the back. I'm going to show us how to give yourself a pat in the back as we close. So now we are off. We are off to a better future, a better 2021. And I want us to talk a bit about these goals, what we have learned, what we are going to do differently. I'm going to stop the slides at this point. Thank you very much for being with me, for staying with me, and for sticking around through the slides. So I will stop it now. We are taking off into 2021. So now is the time for us to share, to ask our questions. I'm going to be checking the chats, can ask questions. So I'm going to stop the screen share right now. Let's take off. All right. We can unmute ourselves. I'll ask questions. If you have questions, let me know. Hey, hi, Wumi. I see you. Didn't see you coming.
Great section, Kate.
Hello, Kate.
Thank you, Amstra. Hi, yeah, hey, Wumi.
Thank you very
Great
much.
to have you with us today.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. So what's your takeaway so far? And is there any question? Let's discuss your questions and maybe some of your challenges that you face. I'll put up my video that you face when it comes to setting goals. Let's talk about them. Because I can tell you, we all have challenges. There's nobody that is perfect when it comes to goal setting. There are times when even the best of the best don't get it right. So we have to be vulnerable so we can learn, so we can move forward.
Very true. Hi, Kate.
Yes, I'm strong.
Okay, I don't know if I can step in.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you for the beautiful presentation. I'm actually writing a book on goal setting. It's not because I'm an expert in goal setting, but and it's more because I failed so much when it comes to goal setting and achieving goals. And that's, in fact, I was so goal oriented on the technical side, and I'm happy you touch a lot of things that are not technical, and so much that each time I fail to meet my goals, I always beat myself. And I think sometime, I'm not sure, I'm sure there was a time I probably have depression over it because thinking back and just remembering how I felt each time I did not meet my goal. And what I've learned the last 2 years, one of the key things I've learned about goal setting is that what really makes you successful when it comes to goal setting, it's your personal growth. I think my journey on personal growth, when I begin to deepen myself in it, really begin to help me to understand a lot of things about goal setting that I wasn't really aware of. I've read a lot about goal setting, but it was always on the technical part, SMART goal, write down your goal and all those stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I never really learned was that, which I got to learn late, was that, like you said, it's not about achieving the goal, it's who you become in the process of reaching that goal.
Yeah.
If you set out to lose 20 kg and you do 10 kg, it's something, and then if we fail to recognize that bits we have achieved, that's where we really lose the value in the goal, achievement process, because it's the transformation that happened in the journey of reaching your goal that is the most important thing. And that's something that I've learned that have really helped me in reaching out for my goal. So it's not about just hitting it, but learning from the process, which is what I believe goal setting is more about. For me, goal setting, it's about growth. It's a journey that takes you on the growth path. That's just what it is for me. So thank you.
Right.
Thank you so
That's
much.
so true. Thank you, Armstrong. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, the journey is more important. Yeah, the journey is more important. Yes, the destination, when you get to the destination, yeah, that's so good. But if we are focused on the destination, we may become, we may actually get infected by, I think it is, I heard it from John. He said a destination disease, Maxwell. Yeah. So you may just get caught with destination disease, waiting to get there. And you would take all those technical steps, all those things. You will not be focused on becoming better or becoming, a better you. You're just focused on getting there.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you realize that, oh, you've missed a lot of things along the way. You've probably lost some friendships, some relationships, in the process. You've probably, you've missed so many things because you are not focused on becoming, the best of you. You're not focused on your purpose or your values. So at the end of the day, that's when you see that, okay, the destination, yes, it's so important. You feel good when you get the gold medal, no doubt. But who did you become in the process?
Yeah.
That's more important.
Celebrating along the road, along the way.
Yes, awesome. Thank you for that, Armstrong. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. It's a long way anyway, but definitely, hopefully, maybe before the end of next year.
Oh, no, not before. Don't do like me. Don't do like me. Mine is still in progress. Wumi is my accountability partner, and she knows that book. Wumi, that book. Yes. So, and
I know, Kate. I need to hold you more accountable on the book.
Yeah, we need accountability partner. I think I need to get one for my book too.
Yes, we do. So that's it. And if you were in the procrastination webinar, I'm launching in January. We're starting off in January a special program called Thinking and Accountability Partner Program, TAAP, where I'm going to be working with a few people, on that level of thinking through their goals, their purpose, and holding them accountable. Yeah, so it's open to just a few people. So I'm really going to screen so we can honor our time, our energy, during that process. Yeah. we kick off in 2021. I'm going to send us a link to apply, because to apply, I'm doing a selection process into that program. So there'll be an application for you to join the program. Right.
Can I speak? Can I contribute?
Yes, please.
Okay, you mentioned when you were showing the slides about somebody setting a goal and forgetting about the goal. Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, some of us set goals because others are setting goals. We just say, okay, let me do what everybody's doing. I'm going to set 3, 4, 5 goals. And we set the goals. And by January 15th, we've forgotten the goals. Or we've voluntarily dropped them and get back to normal. The role of inspiration, for a goal to fly, you must be inspired by the goal. And if the goal inspires you, every day you think about it, the goal kind of grows in your mind. It kind of develops. It kind of becomes bigger. And when you have such a goal, and like you said, you have a daily practice of doing something in that area, even though you only have so many things, I don't know how you get around all those 6 things. But if you're doing something in that area of that goal on a daily basis, the goal keeps becoming better. You keep refining it. It's like somebody writing a book. If you're really motivated, you see that you are pulled. Jim Rohn says it's a pull of the future. If it's like a magnetic force. If you have the stronger the magnet, the stronger the pull. That pull is actually how inspired you are about the goal. And that magnetic pull kind of pulls you through all discouragements, all the COVID-19 issues and things like that. You see that no matter what happens, you are still pursuing the goal. Your speed may be slowed down by the COVID or other events that come your way, but you're focused and that pull will pull you through, and in the end, you'll achieve it. So I just want to contribute that.
Right. Thank you so much. Really, that's so important. That pull, that's taking small steps. I believe in small steps taken consistently towards our goals. Yes, you can take big steps once in a while, but it's important to make those steps as small and as measurable as possible. So when you have daily commitments that you do in the area of, for me, like my pie chart in those 6 areas. So I have just small steps that I take in each of those areas. So I discovered that when I focused on small steps, I get more done, during the day, and I celebrate a lot more. And I found since I started that process, I am more relaxed and I have rest time. Surprisingly, before I couldn't just take like 30 minutes out of my day to rest, but it's become so important and it's become like a routine. Even my family, they know now that every day she has to take 30 minutes to rest. So sometimes like there are some days when I don't achieve that. And my husband will tell me, oh, you didn't have your rest time today. So once you start taking those small steps every single day, it becomes a part of you. Yes, Openwane, your hand is raised.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, Kate. It was a very inspiring one. Thank you once again.
All right.
So my contribution is more about the relationship between the goals we set and the purpose, our individual purpose in life. Relating it to what the last speaker said about the drive that brings you to the accomplishment of those goals. When it is driven by a purpose, I think it's a different ball game. Unlike where you come and you say, okay, this is New Year, I want to do some, set some new goals for the new year. it's quite different from when you have a purpose-driven goal. So I think
Yes.
if you can throw more light on how we as individuals can find our true purpose. I don't know how you can do that, but I trust you can do that. If we find our true purpose, it makes it easier for us to set our goals and follow through to finish.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Obiwani. That is so true. So when your goals are tied to your purpose, then it brings more fulfillment because you're not looking at a destination. Because your purpose is long term. It's your whole life. So when your goals are tied to your purpose, then it's more aligned. So the key is to really, like you said, to discovering that purpose. And if we stick in January, we're going to look into purpose, the January leaders priority. And there will be exercises for us to do, to help us in that direction as well. So we'll go into a bit of, we'll do a bit of work together to be able to define our purpose. Yeah, so if you're with us in January, that's first, let me see, January is January 7th. Yes, January 7th, that's the date. So if you can mark that in your calendar and stay with us, then we will do some work on purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Wumi. Wumi is let me introduce Wumi to us. This is her first time. This is Wumi's first time on the Leaders Priority. And
yes, this is my first time.
I'm so happy to have her. So Wumi is my very first mentor in this on this journey. Before I started my coaching business, my journey into coaching, speaking, and training. Wumi is a coach. She's a certified coach, speaker, and trainer. And then she was already into coaching. She was the only one I knew who was coaching. So Wumi mentored me and really guided me into how to get started right. So I owe a lot to her. And she's really been an inspiration to me. Right now, she is the founder of the Blooming Ladies International and really doing some great things in the area of empowering women. Yes, so thank you for joining us today, Wumi.
Thank you for that great intro. Thank you very much, Kate. But you inspire me so much. Also, you are doing so well, so much well. And I'm proud I know you. I'm proud of you, who you're becoming and who you have become. Right, it's a process, and I really learned from this goal setting webinar. I would like call it a Zoom call. I've really learned so much. I will keep learning. I don't think we'll ever get to a place where we don't need to learn again, right?
Yeah.
Every time you attend something like this, you always go away with things to learn, right? So I really learned a lot. For me, I think with goal setting, one thing that I tend to struggle with, and you think you also mentioned it, is when your goal is not visible. It's not, maybe not telling people or not writing it clear out there. And then life happens. You forget, like, oh, I forgot that I had this goal written, I was supposed to achieve. But when your goal is out there, you tell people, and you hold yourself accountable, and you have somebody else that's holding you accountable. I think really goes a long way. Yeah, and again, for me, goals are not just come from the sky or from somewhere, right? It needs to be attached to your life purpose, your life mission, and then that it makes meaning. Yeah. And also then that achieving that goal is also taking you closer to your life destination, where you want to go to, right? So yeah, thank you very much, Kate, once again, and thank you everyone. I've really learned from this seminar.
Awesome, great. Okay, so I would like, if you want, let's hear from Matthew. Matthew, That's the importance of being on the Zoom call, because when you are on Zoom, where you're expected to contribute, that's what happens on the Leaders Priority.
All right. It's a privilege to be here. I think my first time I've been here. A friend actually introduced me to this. And so fortunately, he's not here too. Thank you for all you stand for and all you do. It's my prayer that you go further than this.
Amen.
I'm so blessed, and it's just like you are put one more pair to our treasure box today. Though I was very busy in the office, but I still had some time to pay some attention to you today. I was Napoleon Hill. I would love to appreciate you for 10 years to this great vision, this great move in this end time. Napoleon Hill once said that a goal is a dream with a deadline. A goal is a dream with a deadline. I was so touched, I was so blessed. I was able to note some things down. That one of the things I also learned today, that the amount of things we can accomplish is incredible once we start. We set our intentions, because our intentions also determines our extension. And thank you once again. There are a lot of things I've learned today. You know, you just reminded me of some things that have been inside, and we need to carry on. So thank you very much. More grace.
Right. Okay, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, thank you for being on the call and on Zoom with us. Right. So that's it. So I want us to, there's some questions that I asked. I don't know if you can share what is one thing that you are going to do after today in the area?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me just, okay, my name is Fatima once again. This is my first time here. It's been an amazing session and I took notes.
Okay.
So I'm not new to goal setting, but what I have noticed myself is that consistency, I mean, being consistent with my goals has been a major, like a challenge I've been trying to cope with. And I know that I need to do more in that regard. I've also learned so much about short-term and long-term goals. Quite a number of times I feel overwhelmed. I have to do so many things, but I've learned from Wumi that, look, you don't have to overwhelm yourself. Just, put them under short-term and long-term goals. And that way to fall in place. And, so basically it's been an awesome class and I learned a lot. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Fatima. Appreciate. Yeah, let's hear Jessica Iberi.
Hi, this is Iberi. I'm sorry, I missed most of the class, but the little I got was where you talked about falling in love with your goals, and I did get a couple of things. Let me not lie, but I really can't talk now. People in a very noisy place.
But I hope you got the part that we're going to celebrate your achievement.
I'm going to celebrate what?
Okay, your achievement that we're going to celebrate.
Oh, okay.
I hope you got that part.
No, I didn't get it. Well, no problem.
Okay, yeah, so now you get it. Okay, good. Yeah. Thank you. All right, Jessie.
Okay, I'm excited. I got a lot of things. I got to learn so many things, but one of the major things, my take-home message is on the list. They make 10 lists of items and try to learn about. You will see the 2 important ones, and those 2 important ones, break them down and also run with them. So that is one thing that, okay, instead of having all those 10 lists, you can also focus on the 2 most important things, which is your goal, and that can take you to where you're going to. So that is my take-home message, most importantly.
Awesome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right, that's good. So thank you so much, everyone. So I mean, one thing that I would like us to really live with is that this is a process. We are in the process. And yes, you have your goals, have a deadline attached to them. but understand that the process is more important. And that if we take small steps every single day, then we can give ourselves a pat in the back, and we can continue inspiring ourselves and motivating ourselves, especially when it's in line with who we are. Do those three things. So right now, I want to show us how to give ourselves a tap in the back, okay, as we close. So I want to show us this. Can you just raise your right hand real high? Let me show you how to give yourself a tap in the back. Can you do this with me? Okay, I want to see your videos up. If you can put your videos up, good. Yes. So, so let's lift up your hand and stretch your fingers. Do that. Stretch your fingers. I want you to stretch your. See how I'm stretching my fingers. Really stretch your fingers. So lift up your hands and up, right, high up, and stretch your fingers. Yay. Okay. So I'm taking. Okay. I don't know if you can. Let me move backwards. See what I'm doing. Put your hand on your back like this, and as far as your hand can reach. I hope you can see. And then tap it.
Okay,
tap
pat on the back.
Yeah, so give yourself a pat on the back. Good, 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 good. Congratulations. Yes. So let's do that. Once in a while, give yourself, just say, Kate, you did well. You did it. You did it. You did it. So, yes. So keep doing that. And thank you so much for being with us today on the Leaders Priority. And have a fantastic year end, December.
Thank you.
A very wonderful holiday season. And let me say Happy New Year in advance. We will meet after the New Year yes, on January 7th. So all the best.
All the best. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Kate. God bless.
Thank you very much, Kate, for this wonderful time.
Thank you, Obimone, for being with us. We appreciate
Thank you very much, ma.
All right, Kathy. Beautiful. Fatima, happy to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right. Matthew.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Great to meet you. Yeah.
More grace, more impact.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Wumi. Thanks.